joethefinanceguy.com.
BowmanDigitalMedia.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cup of Joe. I'm Ira Bowman, one of your hosts. With me, of course, as always, Joseph, a.k.a. Joe the Finance Guy Stepke, and our newest cohort, Ryan Jackson, quote-unquote, the other guy, which I love that title. He's being facetious, but we'll roll with it because it's fun. If you've never been here before, really, this show is kind of like the live version of Seinfeld, because we don't script it. We do have kind of a loose idea of what we talk about each and every week. We talk about sales. We talk about marketing. We talk about where in the world was Joe Stepke. We talk about some fun stuff like Cobra Kai and Star Wars. And lately we've been on She-Hulk, although I'm starting to lose interest in She-Hulk, if I'm being completely honest. We'll talk about that in the show later today. But it's just a lot of fun. So you can ask questions if you'd like. We're kicking off the weekend for you, folks. That's basically what we're doing. We take a look back at the week that was. We take a look forward into the week that's coming up, and we do it all in about an hour, and then we get the heck out of here. We're coming at you live from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Before we get into it, gentlemen, I just want to take care of some housekeeping real fast. The views and opinions of the show are expressed opinions solely of Ira Bowman, Joe Stepke, and now Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson is not a.k.a. Joe the Finance Guy. I've got to fix that. But anyways, it's not expressly not of Acima, which Joe is pimping out on his shirt today, or Rent-A-Center. It's our opinion, folks. So if we say something to get us in hot water, throw the hot water on us, not on that company, and we will be just fine. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions in the show, we pretty much answer them as they come in. So just go ahead and throw those. Sorry, what?
I am pimping out the shirt today. I didn't even think about that. I would have changed too. I didn't think about that.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. So anyways, if you guys are watching and you want to engage with us in the show at any time, this is first come, first serve, baby. So savor the flavor, the awesomeness, and yeah. I love the energy that Kenny D brings to the show. And yeah, the other guy, Bob, it's like a stroke of genius. Ryan, we should get you a shirt that says the other guy. That would be a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah, I'm wearing my other shirt today. So
there you go. Sometimes my inside thoughts becomes outside thoughts, and that's usually when we get in trouble.
And it's a dead
Mariella has got it nailed on the head. These are LinkedIn shenanigans. Faux show. Yeah, we could talk about Batman anytime. In fact, I usually do sarcastically because I say that
we
remember rules and Batman rules. But anyways, Joe's used to it. It's nothing new. It doesn't even hurt his feelings anymore. He just knows what's coming.
Yeah, you said it the other day, and you go, no reaction, nothing.
I'm like, what? All right. What did I just do? I did something. I don't know. Okay. What do I want to do? We did this last time, guys, and I actually kind of liked it. So what I would like to do, let's start off with just a little bit. For those who have never met Ryan Jackson, Joe Stepke, or Ira Bowman, and there might be some people like that in the audience, let's just do like a minute introduction. Who you are, what you do, and that way people might have some informed questions that they might ask throughout the show of any one of us because they now know who we are and what we do. So Ryan, the other guy, let's start with you this week, bro, my friend. Give us 60 seconds, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, 60 seconds for me. Recently retired from the Navy. That's why I got these jets and helmets behind me, because I used to be an FA-18 before I started doing boring staff jobs.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, talk to me, baby. Do some of that pilot stuff. And then, so things I got going on, I work with Blue University, the online university for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs.
BLU, no E. BLU.
University, exactly, if you want to look at it. And then also, I'm in the process of opening up a exterior cleaning business in the Panhandle of Florida. So those are things.
How's that going? We haven't talked about that in a while. You're still doing it.
It's going. I sent the first. I wired the franchise fee, and then I'm starting to go through the process now. They have a pretty rigid process for the first 90 days. They're really in tune with setting you up for success and working on your marketing plan and all that kind of stuff.
They announced you on LinkedIn, bro. You're LinkedIn official.
Yeah, I was announced on LinkedIn. That was.
I had fun talking you up on that. I hope that helped.
So I guess that makes you official. They put it on Facebook too. I didn't check Instagram. But.
I didn't see the Facebook post. I'm just saying, but somebody tagged me in LinkedIn. I saw it. So there you go.
Yep. And that's about it for right now.
That's cool. Married with kids. Lives in Hawaii. All that stuff. Anyways. All right. Joe.
No, what about you, Ira?
No, you're going first, bro, because you had more. Yeah, I think you had a more exciting week tonight, honestly. So let's go with you first.
Well, you said I have to give out my profile.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Who are you and what you do?
In 60 seconds.
That's it.
TikTok.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna time you.
Hi, I'm Joe Stepke. I am in love with my wife. She's my Catwoman, and
she's an amazing person.
My life.
She won't come on my show ever, but I'm not offended.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Yeah, please don't. Gosh, I'm known as Joe the Finance Guy.
Why, Joe? Why are you called Joe the Finance Guy?
I help retail businesses build their businesses through a no credit needed payment option.
Modern day replacement to
layaway.
Layaway, baby. That's
layaway. Right. And I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit hoarse because I screamed so much at this Goodyear event that I was at, and I'll even say it because right now I'm good. I was there.
It's like being at a concert for 4 days straight, right?
Oh my God, we had game night on the last night on Wednesday night, and it was so fun. I was part of a team that was doing we were doing really good. Greg, who was also on the team, it was like music trivia, and Greg is a vinyl guy. So he knows almost all songs. He used to DJ and stuff. So this was just great. But I must have cut something in my throat or whatever because I could feel it. But it's bad. So I was yelling and digging deep and stuff like that. So all
right, Kenny. If he's not talking a lot today, don't tell me to be quiet. Just tell him to drink some tea with honey or something.
Oh no! And Jen has been telling me to drink tea.
There you go.
Every night, and it's felt better, except then I start talking the next day. So I got to go at least one day, maybe without talking, and I don't know if that will happen.
Tomorrow?
Is that what she said, or you just don't feel well?
Jen's like, let Joe shut up.
Yeah, no, she probably would be happy if I did that, but I don't know if I could ever not talk. However, I did some stuff, and when we talk about this, I went to the NFL Hall of Fame. Never been there.
Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how awesome that was.
I've never been there.
We all took a picture, Charles, Greg, and myself in front of it. Well, I got the new update, and did you know on iPhone you could like copy yourself as a person? And then here, I don't know if you could see it, and I'll share my screen. I'll try to download it. But lucky for me, all of us met Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, cool. Wait, hang on a second. I'm going to make you bigger. I think I can do that. Hang on. I'm going to make you big.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can kind of see it. So you guys are in the front.
Yeah, we're in the front.
So you're the bottom. So, okay, so the way I see it, you're on the bottom right. So who's next to you?
Charles is in the middle, and he is the senior VP of ASEMA.
Okay.
And Greg is on the other side. You know who Greg is?
Yeah, I know Greg. Yep. And then the top row you got.
Middle is Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
Above me is Chris Hemsworth, and above Greg is Chris Evans.
Okay.
We didn't really meet them.
But it looks like you did.
Yeah, because I took that picture from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep moving it.
That's all right.
And I was able to just click on it and move it and paste it.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then
we call that Photoshop, Joe.
Yeah, well, I've never done it before, and to do it this way was pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's neat. What was the name of the app?
So then Greg wanted to do he actually wanted to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on our free day.
Yeah,
and
so you're in Cleveland.
Yeah, but we were in Kent, so we were equally, like almost equal, from NFL Hall of Fame and House of or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But since Charles wanted to go there,
Canton and Cleveland. Look at my knowledge of Ohio, baby.
And pretty good.
Yeah.
But Greg said, he goes, you know what? Why don't we do what Charles wants? And for me, it didn't matter if we were going to go to a comic place. That'd been something. But either way, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, I still lose, or I still win. Whatever. I'm not offending anybody. I'm just not interested in any of that stuff. Except I will tell you the two theaters they had at the NFL Hall of Fame, awesome. But I took Greg's thing since he wanted to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I just posted our picture in front of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now, so we went.
There you go. Boom.
Yes. But yes, you're right. It's Photoshop, and I was actually impressed that I did that. So sorry. I'm an old guy that was able to do.
Kenny's busted my chops already. Love you, Kenny. Wait, where is he? Kenny. Here we go. He says I still talk too much. That's probably true, but that's all right. It's my show, so I can talk as much as I want. There you go. All right, and Bob, you got COVID, bro? I'm sorry about that. Hope you get better soon. Hopefully, it's a mild.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, he's on typing, and he's probably not too bad off. I'm assuming.
Right. Oh yeah, no, you're right.
All right, let me fix.
So now you can make me small again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me fix the view. All right. All that was 60 seconds, Joe. Good job.
Was it? Good job. Thank you. Yay.
If you don't know me, I don't know why you're watching me on my show, but hey, here we go on my channel. Let's see, because we're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, but we alternate every other week. So one week we do Joe's channel, and 1 week we do Ira's channel. This week we're on Ira's channel. So here we go. I run Bowman Digital Media. We basically help our clients increase their visibility online. We're trying to generate traffic for their website, and we do it in two basic ways. We help increase people's visibility on social media, and we help improve their search engine optimization so they can get discovered on Google. That's what I do professionally. I also own a philanthropy called Project Help You Grow, which is helping connect job seekers to employers and recruiters around the world. We've been doing that since 2018. And there we go. We got some assistance for the free job search. And then I am also proud to be married to my wife, Alicia. We're going on, this is our 23rd year. We have 8 kids. And right now, this week has been all about starting the rebuild, Joe. The remediation, the mold is done. It's gone. So my wife is in there stuffing walls with insulation right now. We got a new washing machine.
Doing it? Wow.
We're doing a lot of it, frankly, because my brother came. He actually showed up at the airport last night at midnight. So he's helping us with some labor. But we're doing what we can to keep the price down because, honestly, it's just way too expensive. And so we're trying to be smart with our resources. So we're doing what we can. Yeah, we're going to do as much of the rebuild as we can ourselves, which is probably going to be most of it because a lot of this is cosmetic. It's not like structural stuff where we have to replace structural beams or the foundation or anything like that. They tore out the cabinets, they tore out flooring, they tore out drywall. There's a few things that we probably, like the cabinets, we'll probably have somebody do for us, right? Build the cabinets, but we'll install them ourselves. So Lizzie is doing way better. For everybody who's interested in that, she pretty much is all systems go, except for her voice is still like the main thing that's not working right. However, when she sings, you can hear it a little bit more. So there's something about that singing that's forcing out a little bit more of the voice, which is beautiful to hear. It makes everybody cry when you hear it. It's like, wow, I can actually hear her voice when she sings, which is kind of cool. But her memory has come back almost complete. She's walking kind of. If you've seen any of these like zombie shows where like they're, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's like that. She hadn't walked in a long time, so she can walk. Her feet are swollen and she has a lot of pain when she walks, so she can't walk too much. She's using a tinge thing, those electric things that send, or tins, sorry, not tinge, tins. So she's using that, but she's still doing her hyperbaric treatments. She's still getting her TMS treatments, but it is like night and day compared to where she was just 2 weeks ago, right? So now we're no longer looking for a cure, ladies and gentlemen. We know what is working to get her, and we have hopes that she'll make a full recovery. So couldn't be happier about that. More appreciative. It's definitely been an answer to all our prayers. So we're on the recovery journey with Lizzie, which is really, really cool. So why are you mute? Hang on a second. What do we got here? Ryan Jackson, why are you mute? Don't let Iris Steamroller, you. Why aren't we connected yet? Well, you're not connected because you haven't sent him a connection request. That's simple to fix. And
It's pending. It's pending. I sent him one, and sometimes it's better just to let Ira go.
it is better let me go because I will steamroll you, baby. Ryan knows he's 6'3" and I'm 5'8" with cowboy boots on, but I'm still, I'm a force to be reckoned with here, Ryan.
Yeah. He can jump.
This is why I talk. I love dead air.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, you want me to talk? Usually I would, but God, where's my lozenges? I got them somewhere.
Well,
Joe, recover. Joe, recover.
Are we gonna jump to She-Hulk? Is it?
No,
She-Hulk
I don't want to
back?
start with She-Hulk because honestly, She-Hulk. This might be the last time.
I watched Cobra Kai. I watched all of it.
But Joe, Ryan has only got to season 4.
So I finished up season 4 last night. We watched the final episode of season 4.
Sabrina says not cowboy boots.
No,
I wear
Aiden
cowboy
stiletto
boots,
heels.
Sabrina. I do, but I haven't been wearing them lately since I've been in California. Like when I was in Texas, I wore them
So
every
next
day.
week we could talk about Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
save
I'm
it. Let's
gonna
save
visit
Cobra
this
Kai for next week.
All right.
The season 4 finale that got the house fired up.
We can talk about that if you want, Ryan. If you want to talk about that, I'm cool with it. And this will be everybody's like fair spoiler warning. If you haven't watched Cobra Kai and you want to participate in the conversation with us about season 5, we're going to start talking about it next week. But if you want to talk about John, is his name John Silver, right? I think.
Yeah.
It is. If you want to talk about John Silver or any of the stuff that happened at the season finale of season 4, we could definitely talk about that. That was, to me, that was the best episode of season 4 by a mile because it set up season 5 so well.
Yeah.
I was like, when you sit on pins and needles and you're like, man, I really got to wait a whole year to figure out what they're going to do. That's what I was doing on that one. They did a really good job with the season 4 finale.
And here comes the big time spoiler. But when he was at Miyagi's tombstone and he's looking for guidance and they start zooming out, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be one of these horrible She-Hulk CGI moments. And there's going to be like Miyagi's ghost talking to him. But no, it was Chosen. And that's when everybody like lost their mind. Like, oh my God, it's his best friend that was his enemy that became his friend again. This is going to be great. So now he does have somebody that knows Miyagi well enough to mentor him. So it's like I said, the house erupted. At least me and my wife did because we
well, and it's somebody that he can trust fully, right? And what's funny is when you look at season 5 with Chosen and Johnny, everybody's named John in the show. What the hell? Anyways, Johnny and Chosen and Daniel-san, right? You've got this band of misfits. It shouldn't work, but again, we'll talk about it when Ryan.
Season 5 is the last one, correct?
We don't know, right?
So we don't know, but
no. The last one that aired, correct?
Yes. Yeah. The current season. Yeah.
All right. No, so going back to season 4, when he went back to Okinawa and forged that relationship with Chosen, I thought that was great.
No, that was a good episode too. And they brought back Kyoko.
Yeah.
In season 4, which was
and
great.
He loves sorry.
Well, if you're not familiar, look, guys, don't talk about that.
I almost did. Sorry.
You almost messed up. But Joe, if you think about that, how they tied the second movie, the Karate Kid, the second movie, in with season 4 was like seamless.
I know.
You know what I mean? So that's the one thing I give them a lot of credit for.
5.
Yeah, I give them a lot of credit for the writers of Cobra Kai. I give them a lot of credit for not abandoning not just the first movie, but really the whole series. Like they've stayed true to the movie script all the way through, which I think makes it really good writing.
I heard season 6 was going to have Will Smith's son in it and Jackie Chan.
They're going to bring them in.
I'm only joking. I
was gonna say that. I like Jackie Chan. He's funny, but man, that's
it's funny but not funny. But
yeah, like if you want to ruin it,
I wouldn't put it past them.
And next you'll have Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme in there. You know,
Kenny's on fire. Kenny, I love you, brother. You could take it. You're like Joe. You could take a ribbing.
I just don't pay him any mind, Kenny.
That's pretty much the way to make that work.
That is. Works just fine.
So let's do this. Let's talk about challenges, because one of the things I like about this show is we don't just talk always about, the warm and fuzzy stuff. Sometimes we get into the harder stuff. So let's talk about challenges this week. Ryan, you are starting a new business. It is a franchise business, but it's still a new business, right? Joe, you were out of your territory all week, which, in sales, that can cause a problem. Even when it's a company sanction, it's not vacation. He was working, but he's still out of his
vacation, sort of.
Yeah, he was still out of it.
I mean, it was fun. I'm not going to say it was a challenge, but Jen knew about it ahead of time. So, and I don't normally go out. Like, I'm always home at night normally.
Yeah.
When I'm out.
Home at night, you're in bed by 9 o'clock, man.
Well, you know what I mean. I sleep in my own bed. Jen didn't. It didn't matter. I'm there with me going, so it was fine. It was the drive that really was bad. Like going there at first.
It was a 5-hour drive for Joe.
5-hour drive, and then when I left at about 7:30 yesterday morning. Didn't get back home till about 6 at night. I stopped I was doing visits on the way home though. Like I went to Richmond, Indiana.
Yeah.
Honors. Yeah. Newcastle and stuff like that. So.
Hey, I hear it 2 or 3 people for sure love you back, Kenny. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, I love you, Kenny. I think you're great, and you know that. So,
Kenny is my favorite.
But mine was it was I wouldn't say challenges, except working out was a little bit of a challenge. Waking up that early and being because I go.
Have you stepped on the scale lately, Joe? We haven't talked about weight check-in.
Yeah, I've stepped on one. I'm about 246 still.
Okay, so you're plateaued.
246 and a half. I've plateaued, but because I want to put this out in 8 more days, it's the start of Joe-tober.
It's birthday month, bro.
And I'm going hot and heavy again. So
on food?
No, I'm trying to. I got what you're putting down. All right, cool.
Yep.
I had a gym milestone today. I've been back into it for about a couple months. Today, I'm now the guy where I'm in the gym, and if people need a spot, they come ask me for a spot. So that's apparently, cool. I put on enough size again that I look like I can actually spot somebody. So, you
could spot my 150-pound dumbbell anytime, bro.
Well, this guy that asked me for a spot, he was doing 315 on the bench.
Yeah, not me.
Was he really?
I'll put up 2 bills, but that's about it.
Not me. I use a Nautilus, like one of the fitness machines.
Yeah, I like using free weights. I'm with you, Ryan. I'm a free weights guy.
Well, the machines are good to save your joints.
Yeah.
So, but the free weights, the good thing about the free weights is having to balance it. It really helps with the stabilizer muscles. So that's why I like free weights until I can't do it anymore.
So Ryan, let's get into this a little bit. What you can, you may not want to share it all, and we understand that. But some of the challenges that you're facing getting this new business off the ground.
So my biggest challenge, and maybe in some ways a blessing, is that I'm setting it up in the Panhandle of Florida. I'm located in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So right off the bat,
currently in Hawaii, but your intention is to move to the Panhandle. So that's where where the business is being set up now.
But the business will launch like middle of December. So it's going to be up and running while I'm still located here.
Well, you're setting it up, just so everybody knows, you're setting it up fully with a operations person to manage it. So, you don't have to be in the day-to-day per se.
Which is the difference between entrepreneurs and small business owners. Small business owners create a job for themselves. Entrepreneurs create a job for other people. They want other people to run it so they can move on to the next project. I found you
and I were talking about today on the business that we want to start, another one.
Yeah. Yep. We'll talk more about that when we get a little bit more fidelity to it. But so, I got this 26-year-old guy who started up his own pressure washer business, but he did it door to door. He doesn't have a national marketing campaign behind him. He's very motivated because he was able to build something. He's ran it for 3 years, but he hasn't been able to take it to the next level because he doesn't have the capital to do it. So I have the capital to start a larger business, bring in somebody that's young that has the motivation and the experience and a lot of it to run it on the operations side. And there'll be deferred compensation for him where he'll get a share of the equity in the company down the road after a certain number of years for his commitment to the business. And the way I'm looking at it, he's not an equity partner, but he's definitely my business partner. So I'm excited about that. Through building relationships, I actually met this young gentleman through my mentor in Pensacola. He's the one that kind of introduced me to him, and I started talking to him, and he was like, owns this business in power wash. I was like, let me tell you about what I'm doing. What do you think about this? And he's like, I'm all on board after I told him about it. So yeah, so right off the bat, own the business, don't work in the business. So
well, one of the cool things about the way that you went, which a lot of us don't do, is you went franchise. So let's just talk about that a little bit. If you're out there and you're like me, like I'm a business owner, right? In fact, I own 2 businesses with Bowman Digital Media and Project Help You Grow. I'm currently shopping for another business. So I think we talked about that in the last couple of weeks, right? So I am not really looking at the franchise route. But you and I talked about this a couple months back before you had decided to pull the trigger, and it made a lot of sense for the reasons why you were doing it. So let's talk about that, because maybe there's more people out there who are interested in maybe stepping their toe into being a business owner or an entrepreneur, and they're not familiar with some of the advantages that buying into a franchise presents itself. So if you wanted to just talk about that, some of the advantages for you and why you decided to go that route as opposed to just launching your own independent business.
So I actually wasn't really considering it at all until a fellow Naval Academy alumni reached out to me. His name's Steve Taylor, and he calls himself a franchise consultant, but let's be honest, he's a franchise broker. So he presents franchises to you, but he also educates you on it, right? So he talked to me about it, the advantages and stuff like that. Gave me a couple of opportunities that he thought were good opportunities, and then I identified this one. So the advantages over starting your own business as vice, or doing a franchise vice, starting your own business. So this company has been in place since 2007, as when the founder started it. They started franchising in 2015. So he has 15 years of experience in the business. So he's already done the trial and error. He's already had the hard moments trying to figure out how to do things. So now he has processes and procedures in place that basically you get the checklist of how to do things. And then his company was bought by Jeff Duden's group, the Duden Group, who started Avanticlean that has 200. He built it to 240 something franchise locations, and then sold it for billions of dollars. Took the money, started a capital investment group, and he started buying up companies he thought that would be good to franchise. And he knows how to franchise businesses. So you combine someone that collected the data, built the process and procedures for running the business, and then you have a guy that knows how to franchise business and set up people for success. So there's a lot of it. There's like 100 hours of education you get from this company before you open. So it's pretty stringent. Now you gotta be careful, because there are some franchises you just pay them a bunch of money and they go, okay, you can use our logo, and that's it, right? But they have a different model where they're actually going to educate you. I got to go back for a week of training, so it's like 40 hours of training in person that I got to go to. Plus, we're starting our weekly meetings where there's going to be several hours a week where they're going to educate me on stuff, and it goes everything from marketing, accounting, the actual physical act of doing the job on this job site, interacting with customers, how to do bids. They have a national call center, so I don't have to deal with calls and doing the bids. It's all done by a national call center. So that won't take up time for somebody to have to answer the calls. They process all the payments. So, I'm not worried about having to set all that up. It's already set up. So it's more of a quote unquote turnkey kind of concept. Now there's a lot of work that goes into it, but like I said, you don't have to spend, a year, 2 years, 5 years trying to figure out what process and procedures you should be using. They've already done that for you. And being a former military guy, I know about implementing process and procedures and checklists, especially when we were flying the jets, right? That's what we worked off of. I will say there's always something that they haven't thought about. And that's when you got to be careful. When that thing pops up that they haven't thought about, that's when you got to use your skills that you have to figure it out. So that's kind of why I went down that route. And it's
and if you guys are watching and you have questions for Ryan about why he went with a franchise as opposed to opening up his own location, now's a good time to ask. We got a bunch of comments about other things. So you got a question from Kenny D about the temperature of Hawaii. I think that Texas is definitely hotter than Hawaii, but you can correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, it's always like mid 70s to mid 80s for the most part. I live on the windward side, so I get a good breeze all the time. I will say most houses that were built before like I don't know 2000 in Hawaii don't have AC, so sometimes in the afternoon it can get pretty bad. Right now I'm in my recently remodeled master bedroom where we have these big fancy windows that swing open to let the air in, so it's pretty comfortable up here, and it actually has insulation. That's the other thing. A lot of these houses here don't have insulation, but this room does, so it's pretty comfy up here. So definitely not the 120-degree weather of, Arizona, Texas, some parts of California.
Yeah, welcome to my world in the Inland Empire where it's too dang hot. In fact, it's funny. This has nothing to do with nothing, but so we're replacing, and I say we, my wife is replacing the insulation in our home right now as we speak. And she comes to me and goes, "I just figured out why our house is so hot, or partly why our house is so hot. Wherever there was on an exterior wall a pipe going through that section, they didn't put insulation in with the pipe. Isn't that amazing? Exterior walls with no insulation. That's why it's hot in our house."
Are you not on Facebook?
We're on Facebook.
I started looking and I see.
I'm getting comments from Facebook, so it's on my channel. You got to go to Bowman.
Oh, it's on Bowman.
Bowman Digital Media today. Yeah, if you're on Facebook when Joe's on, it just.
Hi, Joe. By the way, I wasn't ignoring you. He was.
I know you weren't. It's all right. You got a lot to do because you're setting up your house.
Yeah, get back to
And
work.
somebody else is playing on the computer. It's all right. I understand.
We all stink. We don't have hot water still. Anyways,
You don't have hot water still?
yeah. So we decided we want it again. We want to get the the pocket in your garage where they stick the water heater. It's all like sheetrocked in, but they tore all that out because we had a leak. The leak that was in our bathroom, our master bathroom upstairs, was right above the water. It's not a water closet, but the enclave, or however you say that, where they had the water heater. So we want to get that drywalled first and then put that in. So we're going to get that done this weekend and then have the company that's installing it do it on Monday. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anything to do with gas and water, we're leaving to professionals. And the rest of it, cosmetic stuff, we're pretty much doing ourselves. So my brother's here. I'm here. My wife is here. We're going to rock this thing out this weekend. We're going to be doing a lot on the house this week. But we have the tiles for the whole. Yeah, I put this up earlier, but I'm excited about that for Mariella and Steve. He was doing a lot of it out of their apartment. So, with doing music stuff, obviously sometimes you need soundproof rooms and a bigger space to do the recording. So be interested to learn more. That's an interesting comment. I was just reading that. So here's my thought on franchises, right? There's good and there's bad to almost everything. I am a creative person. I create graphics and I'm a marketing guy, right? So a lot of the franchise stuff, you're locked into their deal. You know what I mean? In some of them, you don't even have freedom to create your own websites and things like that. You've got to use their system. So if somebody's looking for a solution in a box, franchise can be great because they've already thought of, as Ryan went through with the diatribe and broke it out. You have a lot of the answers already there. They already have a CRM. They already have a logo. They already have their marketing, their motto, their slogan. All this stuff's already kind of put in place. But if you're like me and you want to do your own thing, then that's where every franchise opportunity is different, as Ryan was talking about. Some franchise opportunities, you're just using their logo and their name, and in a way you go. But if you're more engineer mindset, introvert mindset, or like Ryan is actually doesn't have these restrictions, he just wants a solution that can work because he doesn't want to be in the business. He wants to work on the business, but not in the business, if you can follow what I'm saying there. So it's good to have all these things already ironed out. So every franchise opportunity is different, and every person's preferences are different, or their skill set's different. Like for me, I want the marketing control, creativity, freedom, but a lot of people don't have my skill set. So it's one of those things. There's not a one size answer for anybody. You got to figure out.
No, I mean, and Sabrina brings up good points, right? And I think that's why you got to do your research.
Sabrina is a very, very smart person. She is one of the sharpest young ladies that I've ever met. I love her.
So cost, that was one of the things that varied a lot in looking at the franchises. But I will say, if you can find a solid franchise that doesn't require a storefront, then your cost is a lot less. And this one does not require a storefront, at least for the first year. After that, you have to have a commercial office space, but you only need 1,500 square foot minimum, or minimum is 1,500 square foot. But what I would ask Sabrina is, when you do the pros and cons, you got, okay, the con is that you have to pay in a franchise fee, but the pro is that you're going to be more efficient right off the bat when it comes to generating revenue and your costs and stuff like that. So you got to balance that stuff out.
Well, another thing can be name recognition, right? When I started Bowman Digital Media, ain't nobody had ever heard of Bowman Digital Media, not even my family, because I had just launched it, right? So this is one of those things where, like, when you get a franchise, one of the advantages is name recognition. If you got people already working with that franchise, you're opening in Florida. So let's say they're already in Orlando and they're already in Miami, and they open up a location in the Panhandle now. Like, they might just call you because they're already used to doing business with that. You're already the vendor of choice.
It's no different than McDonald's.
That's a Yahtzee. But that to me is a Yahtzee. That's like this is a major pro.
Yeah, you know what's better than McDonald's? Chick-fil-A. That's a goal.
Or Chick-fil-A, that one too.
Yeah, but you could do that's what I'm saying, right? Like, we don't even have to be on food here. We're talking about food, but it could be,
well,
it could be a 24-hour fitness, or
because we're saying that it's somebody that's well known, just like Chick-fil-A. So somebody opens up a franchise, you know that you're already going to get customers coming over there because of the name Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, no, but that, to your point, to my point, right? Tit for tat here. Okay. So name recognition and visibility and all those things. But now also, the bigger the franchise and the more well-known the franchise, also the tighter the branding rules are going to be on you. Correct. You have to do this. You can't do that. Here's our colors. Here's our logo. Here's your ERP or your CRM or your website. All that stuff is locked in for you, because now you're just, I hate to say just, but.
Do you remember, did you see the movie, the one that Michael Keaton played in of,
Sabrina? That is correct, by the way.
McDonald's founder. God, I can't think of it.
She's correct. She's correct. You can only own 1 or 2 Chick-fil-A's at most, and that's if you get approved. I looked at owning a Chick-fil-A franchise when I was in Texas.
That's because they want you to work in the business. They want you to basically be a manager there and be there a lot, right?
Yeah, they want you to be a GM.
Yeah. And it's all profit share. You do not get any equity, so you can't turn around and sell your Chick-fil-A and make money off it. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So for like my franchise specifically, if I ever sell the franchise business, I have to pay a $5,000 transfer fee. That's it. So now,
and you can get whatever it's worth.
The founder, that's it.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, Ira, there were other places that were doing McDonald's, and then, like how Michael Keaton was doing that Kroc. Yeah, I can't. But anyways, Michael Keaton's whoever he was portraying, I want to say Joe Crocker, but that's not it. But what's the name of the founder that he was playing?
He wasn't the founder. But he revolutionized it. He revolutionized it.
That's why they made it, because he not swindled them. He got them out of that deal where
Ray Kroc.
What?
Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc. That was it. Thank you. But anyway, so all these other franchises that he signed up, they started selling chicken and doing different things and not following the model. And he was like, "No, you can't do that." So
these guys are on it. That's my daughter, by the way, Lily. Lily is the twin. This is Lizzie's twin right here, Lily. Anyways, she's trouble. Ray Kroc. Yeah, we got it. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, like I said, franchise for me, because of the way my brain works and the things that I want to do, not the right answer for most things, but it's probably more what I should be looking at, Ryan, because of the working on the business instead of in the business. It certainly makes it easier to do that because you have a lot of the stuff already set up.
Yeah. And I will say it's kind of there's me and some of the more recent owners that are getting involved. and we're talking like onesies. There's like 2 or 3, but before this time period, it was all people who had worked for the company. So those are all the people that had opened up different franchise locations.
Yeah.
So there's like the guy that owns the one in Charleston. He worked for him for a couple of years, and now his revenue is increasing $500,000 a year on year for the last couple of years. He knows it's going to peter off, but I mean, I think he's like 26.
Well,
This guy owns like,
to take it back to marketing, it makes things like doing offset press runs and stuff where you have specialty, where you need a certain amount of order. It makes it easier to get it because now you have a pool. Whoever owns the franchise is also a potential client. You can pull orders and get bulk discounts. Whereas if you're an independent business owner like Bowman Digital Media, I'm not doing offset press and certainly not web press run anything, right? I don't have that kind of volume need. So if you're in that world and you understand what I'm talking about, if you want to buy specialty coffee mugs that are made specifically for your company or a vehicle wrap, right? Like if you're franchised for, what's the name of it again, Ryan? I keep forgetting the name.
This one specifically is Window Hero.
Okay, so Window Hero is the name of the business or the franchise that Ryan bought into, right? So let's say they call out trucks and they say, okay, we're all going to go with, I'm just going to say Ford F-150s. I have no idea what they're going with, right? But it's like one of the only trucks I know off the top of my head. So they're going to go with Ford F-150s. They're going to have, a certain trailer. I don't know any trailer names off the top of my head, so you'd have to help me with that. But anyways, right, they have a commercial setup, and now they can have a wrap setup. So now instead of going to your local print shop guy and saying, hey, I need to get a wrap, they can already have this thing already set up where it's just you go onto a website, you order it, the installation, the whole thing is done as part of the package. Even buying the truck could be done on a corporate scale. So for volume, and you get a built-in discount for buying it instead of going and trying to haggle for the price for the truck and hoping you don't get your clock cleaned by a car dealership. You can have all this stuff built in and save money without the hassle. So there's a ton of advantages that can be had by being part of a bigger group, a collective, if you will. So it gives you buying power discounts. But
there are restrictions. There are restrictions. I will say the one thing that really got me, when you look at the franchise agreement, it's very one way, right? So basically, you're very restricted on what you can do within your region. And I had to fight on some of this, but they can basically do whatever they want to in the region. So if they want to buy up another company that does the same thing in your region, and there happens to be another franchise owner in that region that was in that company they bought, someone loses, right? So now if it's company owned, you win because they're just going to turn over that company owned clientele to you. So there are some legal pitfalls anytime you do a franchise where you got to be careful. But I want this.
And you bought three territories. So
yeah, about 3 regions. So yeah, I got room to expand, and then around my regions, it's a little bit sparse. So, but there's a lot of other things you got to look at. Like in the Panhandle region, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of houses going in the next couple of years because all the Californians are moving out there. And we all know Californians don't like doing work on their own house, except for Ira's wife.
Yeah, careful where I live. It's funny. California is a lot more diverse than what people think. In fact, most of California is rural and conservative. It's just in the big cities, you have huge, dense populations with a lot of people that, are where the stereotypes kind of come from for California. But most of you, if you haven't been where I live, it would probably throw you for a loop. You'd be like, I didn't think California was like that at all. Yeah.
If you went to where I'm from in California, you'd be even thrown for a bigger.
Welcome to the rest. Welcome to the rest of California is what we would say.
Yeah. My high school, which I think I graduated with like 100 and something people. So there's only like 500, 600 kids in the school. And it's on I-5. It's just up in
my high school. I graduated from Fremont High School in Sunnyvale. Shout out to Fremont High School in Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale's Fremont High. I think when we started our class, I think my class was like 350 people, and by the time we graduated, it was less than that. It had shrunk a little bit. So, they're not all the schools are like 1,500 people each. I don't know where to go with that, but anyways.
And
All
then
right.
we got the dead airspace again.
We did, but that's okay. So let's go. Oh, my biggest challenge of the week was, really trying to deal with the house that's in shambles. We have one operational toilet, no sink or mirror in that bathroom, but that's the one that has the working toilet. The rest of the toilets are disconnected. So no hot water. That's made it interesting. And I put up a post this week. It's funny with LinkedIn. A lot of people go, I don't know what am I allowed to post on LinkedIn and what am I not allowed to post? So really, if you would talk about it at the water cooler, which is kind of like this show, frankly, you could post about it on LinkedIn. Some people might get snarky with you and go, that doesn't belong on LinkedIn. But I'll tell you that as long as I've been working, wherever I've been working, there's always been people there, right? And people will have conversations at the water cooler about anything that isn't even work related. And it is work related. So here's the post that I put up. If you had to choose between no shower and cold shower, because that's my choices. That's been my choice for the last 2 weeks. What would you choose? I don't think most people are going to choose to take a shower every day. Now, some of you might, but most of us probably not, right? Not in cold water.
You'll get used to it.
You do get used to it. In fact, I'm there, Joe. I'm at that point now where I can get in and it's no big deal. So I might, because there's been a lot of people telling me, there's a lot of health
benefits to it.
Yeah, to it. And somebody else, they put it. So I made this post, right, about this, and I was getting these comments. I got more responses, by the way, a lot more on LinkedIn than they did on Facebook. I took the same copy and put it on both platforms just to see, because obviously I have a lot larger following on LinkedIn than I do Facebook. So one of the things somebody said was, and it's true, he's like, I can take a cold shower, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that, and it wakes me up more than the cup of coffee. And y'all know how much I love my coffee, but coffee really doesn't have much of an effect on me physically. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try that. And it's true. I had another lady talk about, and this I think was brilliant. How have we been washing our dishes? Like when you go camping, what do? You take a pot of water and you put it on over the fire, you heat it up, and you wash your dishes, right? So we've been doing that. She said, I do that to the shower. What she does is she heats up a pot of water. She takes it up to the shower. She basically uses it like hot washcloth, lathers up, and then rinses off. I'm like, I haven't actually done that, but that's brilliant. I'm like, it's interesting some of the ideas that you get on Facebook or on LinkedIn from these posts.
You're also probably saving water.
A ton of water.
Which is
for
huge.
2 reasons.
Huge.
For
Which
2
is
reasons.
huge
A, when it's cold water, not hot water, I'm not sitting in there for 30 minutes and singing like 15 songs or whatever, getting lost.
Oh my God, you should see me in the shower. I start singing "You'll Be Back" from the Hamilton, and my kids could hear me in the morning downstairs. But anyways, I know we weren't talking about singing, but you're right. When you take the cold shower, you're in and out. You're right, and you're out.
You're efficient, so you waste less water, but it actually is more refreshing. So when you get out, you're like a heightened awareness. Like my mind is ready to be productive. So I know this sounds weird, but I think I'm going to stick with colder showers. Maybe not no hot water, but maybe like cold to warm. We'll see how it goes. But
I think you do that 5 minutes a day, you'll be
I've been forced into this thing, but now it's at the point where it's kind of like, I don't know, let's say you go camping for a week and you do a body cleanse because you don't have the fast food or some of the snacks that you would. Well, snacks probably a bad idea because normally do have snacks.
Right.
Sabrina's with you on the Hamilton. My son RJ would be with you on that too.
I know the words. I love singing.
He loves Hamilton.
Yeah, that and Be Prepared. Be
Prepared.
Did you know trivia on the Be Prepared? You know who sings or who plays Scar? Jeremy Irons. After one of the parts,
for a fact, I have no idea who this is.
Jeremy Irons played the bad guy in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Was it Die Hard 3? Which is the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
Brother, I could tell you everything about.
All right. Anyways, so when he was singing "Be Prepared," after he does this thing and says sings about the coup or whatever, it changes. The guy that played Winnie the Pooh had to come in because something happened to Jeremy Irons' voice box.
Oh,
I didn't know that. My daughter told me about that. Now,
yeah.
I didn't look it up, but she says, no, Dad, it happened. It's the guy.
So you're
from-
saying Scar, the original Scar, ended up having to be replaced by somebody else?
No, he didn't get replaced. It's just when he sung the song, he heard his voice or something.
Oh, okay.
And
So it was
then
like he
the guy-
sprayed the voice box and somebody had to come and pinch
Yeah,
it.
correct. And the guy from and you could tell a little bit if you really listen to it after they sing the coup part at the end, then you could tell that it's from a millisecond almost. You could tell, oh my gosh, that did sound like Winnie the Pooh, like to start off with. So
We lost Bob, but Bob, have a great weekend, brother.
probably not the best way to say that, but see you later, Bob. We lost Bob, but okay.
You know what I mean?
I knew, but the
All
man has COVID, so I wouldn't.
I didn't think about that.
I wouldn't have gone that route. I'd have said,
He's the only man. He's the only man on LinkedIn that I've kissed.
"Well, good for you."
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But I do love the Hamilton songs. I mean, they're awesome.
No,
And-
Hamilton was one of those musicals that it was unexpected because the only reason we watched it, my son, who's into this musical stuff, right? Like that's his thing. In fact, he's in college now at Liberty University. He's in a show. He already tried out and he's in his first college show now. He wanted to watch it, so it was his night to pick a thing, and we watched it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna participate, but I wasn't really interested. However, I thought it was great.
Yeah, right when the songs come on, you just
Yeah,
can't.
I've seen Hamilton probably, I would say 4 or 5 times now. I've seen it.
It is really good. My kids were surprised that I even knew the words. But
Have you seen it, Ryan?
Yeah, no. When COVID started and they released it on TV, my
Yeah.
family watched it, and my kids were into it.
Yeah.
It was surprising, actually.
Yeah.
They're actually
My son-
they're coming to Hawaii to play here in Honolulu in December.
Are you gonna go?
We haven't bought tickets yet.
Yeah, it
But-
might be expensive tickets though.
I brought it up to the wife, and I'll probably be gone because that's when we're launching the business.
How tall is Bree? Is she 5'2"?
Maybe with cowboy boots on.
It's so funny to watch those two together because Ryan's 6'3" and he's a big 6'3". If you can follow me, right? He's not like a skinny little guy. And Bree is like, I mean, I'm gonna say 5'2". I was kind of being.
No, she's like 5'9", maybe.
No, she's not.
I don't know. She doesn't watch the show, so you're safe.
She's not 5'9". She's not taller than me.
Well, you were
Oh,
wearing cowboy
see?
boots.
Well, you're wrong, Ryan. She's watching the show.
Oh,
Oh,
she said
shit.
5'4".
Sorry.
All right, my bad. I didn't mean to short you.
See? Short 2 inch.
Dang.
Yeah, 5'4".
Bree liked me until I did that too. Yeah, actually, women don't usually care all that much. Like, it's okay if you're
Oh
off.
no, you're right. Women don't care at all. You're
Josh
absolutely.
was yelling at me.
Is
I
she?
didn't know how tall she was. Thanks, Ira.
You're welcome, brother. Hey, I'm here to make everybody else's marriages better.
I'm gonna call you while I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
You can sleep, but you might want to wear a face mask. Dust everywhere. Anyways, all right, we're getting close to the end. Let's do this. Let's look ahead. Joe, we'll start with you since we did Ryan first on the last one. What's coming? What's good? What's coming up this week?
Well, this week is about setting up for next month.
Oh yeah, it's that time of month.
Yeah.
Joe is not working on September sales. He's working on October sales.
Correct.
And he has to definitely work on October sales ahead because he's going to be goofing around with Joe-Tober all month of Joe.
Yeah, well,
If
and
you
I
guys
know-
are not following Joe, let me just tell you, this is the best time of year to get that fixed. Follow Joe right now on all the platforms because he's going to have funny videos. The face, what do they call that thing?
reface.
Yeah, reface. He'll do reface. He'll make himself like Harrison
And I actually
Ford.
got some new stuff because I'm going to actually put it to some music.
All right. Well,
Some
anyways,
good
like
stuff.
I'm just saying, you'll be entertained. You have never seen a 50-plus-year-old man celebrate his birthday as hard as Joe Stepke will and he's pretty good. Like he'll post every day something.
Yeah,
different.
it's funny. During October, I just go ahead and do it every day. But
But he calls it Joe-Tober.
Joetober. Yep.
It works.
It works.
I
Because
believe
it
this
is.
is my
It's
fifth. I believe
Joetober.
this is my 5th Joetober.
You should have saw Logan in there. Yeah, she gave you stink eye, Ryan. Oh my gosh, I saw her come around there. She just gave you stink eye. You're a dead.
Where is she? Right,
She
Bree,
just
come
walked
on.
past.
Bree, there she is. She is the better half for sure.
Yep.
Literally
Definitely.
half, right?
That's a good thing when you're a girl, I think. I don't know.
But yeah, so
Makes up for
this
the
week is setting up for next month. There is I am number 1 in the President's Club for SEMA.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it is good, but whoever wins at the end of December, I believe, I think it goes till
Where's the
December
trip? Where's the trip?
in Mexico. And Jen said she'd go.
Viva la Mexico. I want to go. Tell me where.
I don't know where yet.
Ooh, if we did that, we could go. We could do the show live, Ryan.
We could crash the party. And then
That
he'll
could be
never
fun.
get over
Yeah,
the
I
fire.
mean,
Maybe at some sort of resort or whatever.
yeah, but we could rent a room there too.
Yeah, I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I think it would be
Who are
awesome.
you
but-
guys? I'm Ira, and he's the other guy. Come on.
Right. I know. What else would be great that Joe the finance guy is going to do a podcast right there?
So let's talk about this. Ryan, you're gonna go last today. Next Friday, he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm used to it. That's why he's the other guy. Next Friday, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be on location. I'm gonna be doing the show from the road. I'm gonna be in Encinitas, which is not that far away. But one of our fellow members, Joshua Lee, if you guys know Joshua Lee, he's got a pretty big account on LinkedIn. I don't know how many followers he has, but he's got a lot. Anyways,
28,000 last time I checked.
something like that. Yeah, he's got a nice following. But he's also a digital marketer. And I love this guy. I love the way he does things. He's doing it right. You know what I mean? So he's going to be in town. He's normally in Austin, Texas, but he's going to be in SoCal next week. And I'm going to hang out with him. Also, Travis Johnson, who's never, I don't know that we've ever talked about Travis Johnson on the show. Travis Johnson is going to be in San Diego doing an event on Saturday next week that I'm going to be taking photos at. So I'm going to be with Josh Lee, Travis Johnson, and a bunch of other of our friends in Encinitas next week. So I'll be, I'll probably just be at the beach or something, but wherever I have Wi-Fi. But it's on Joe's channel next week, so I don't have to stream. So I figure I could do it from my phone, even if I have to, or my laptop or whatever. But
Well, I did it from the phone one time. Remember?
Yeah, it'll be all right.
So that would be, if you guys are gonna have like a guest. I don't know if you've done it before. If you're gonna have like an inaugural guest, though, Travis Johnson would be something else. He might be banned from social media afterwards, but
Travis is a lot of fun. He was there at my Supercharger event in San Diego.
And he wrote his speech that morning in the shower, he said. Or at least that's when he came up with it. I guess he wasn't really writing it, but
No, he was prepared. This is what happened. He was prepared to give a whole different speech. And then, like you said, he was inspired that day or the morning of, or maybe the day
before.
before.
And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, he totally scrapped what he had planned, which he was going to talk about, podcasting and give podcasting advice, which is what he does for a living. And instead, he was telling about the story of his childhood. And oh my gosh, it was like a tearjerker. He had that whole room in the palm of his hands for the whole thing. It was really, really powerful. So yeah,
Hey,
we could have Travis on.
Ira and Ryan, I hate to be that guy tonight. I gotta go.
Gotta go. No problem. We'll
Is
wrap
that
it up.
right? I know it's 7. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up anyway.
I love you guys. Ryan, can you close out everything for me? Thank you very much. Sorry.
Joe, get
I know
better,
it's
brother.
not my channel next week. I will be better. I promise. I won't talk tomorrow. Ira, I'll catch up with you on Monday about like what we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys, for some breaking news from Joe and Ira. We're going to be announcing soon, hopefully, the Supercharger for Indianapolis. So that'll be fun. I look forward to talking about that.
I
Joe,
will-
get better, brother.
See you later. Bye, Ryan. Don't get beat up tonight.
I'll try not to.
He's not really worried about getting beat up by Bree.
Hey, so going back to Joshua B. Lee, though, you know what I don't like
Yeah.
about him? He's got hair.
He does have hair. He has nice
Wow.
hair. He's got
Yeah.
style. He's got a lot of style. He's a lot of fun. But it's kind of like me when people see me in the white glasses, they assume that I'm a certain way, right? But then when they talk to me, hopefully they realize, oh, Ira's not really like that. It's just he likes to wear white glasses, or I'm into color because I was in the design and print space for so long. I just love it. So, anyways, Joshua Lee was like that for me. When I met him, I was like, ooh, here's a kindred spirit. He's a hard worker. He's a smart guy. He's humble, but he also is competent in marketing. He knows what he's doing. I have no problem referring people over to Joshua B. Lee at all. So I look forward to meeting with him.
Yeah, no, I've never met him in person. He has reached out to me. He said, "Hey, I've worked with a lot of transitioning military people, so feel free to reach out." And I've met everybody I've met that has met him and talked to him. They got nothing but great things to say. I'm just jealous of the hair. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I get to see it. I'll take a picture of it in person for you of Friday. But
And
he
maybe
might,
we can use-
maybe we'll
we
get
can
him to
use-
come on the show too. I don't know.
We can use Joe's skills and put his hair on me.
There you go. Yes. Joe is the guy to go to for any of your graphic design needs. You definitely hit that on the head.
And I think his Photoshop skills are good enough that he could actually work on the CGI team for She-Hulk.
Well, that might be right. And we didn't even talk about She-Hulk. Let's talk about it real quick, Ryan. I hated that show this week. It was like I couldn't understand why I was watching it, other than it was homework for this show.
Yeah, well, I will give you one thing. I'll give him one thing. I think they do a very good job of portraying the difficulties that a woman faces that a male wouldn't, right? Because if she was a male superhero, she wouldn't have to go through all that crap that she goes through.
Well, you should appreciate this. She's like she's working at a franchise, bro. The franchise has already established the brand, and she's, you know what I mean? So
no, and what she needs to do, she needs to go to Blue Dot University, enroll in the University for Entrepreneurs by Entrepreneurs, and open up her own law firm instead of working for somebody else. That's just my opinion, though.
Well, she didn't have the confidence in the show. She didn't have the confidence to do that. So, in that sense, it kind of made sense the way they've done it. But what I didn't like about this week's show, honestly, is I thought the storyline was just like it didn't propel anything forward. The end of last episode, I really liked it because they teased she got a new super suit made, which made sense. She needs a super suit that doesn't break. So when she goes from the small, like Bree sized, just to get you in more trouble, the Bree sized lawyer in human form to the Ryan Jackson sized superhero, her clothes, obviously that's a big, so she needed a super suit that would stretch. That made sense. But they also teased a Marvel character in there for this is where it's good to have.
Was
Joe.
it like the anti-Flash or whatever, the alternate Flash, or who was that?
See, I'm not sure 100% sure, but I thought they were teasing the dirt, not the other lawyer.
So my kids said it was the anti-Flash or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, like they're bringing in other characters and stuff, so I totally get it. Like this one they brought in, if you didn't watch the episode, they had the guy who couldn't die. I forget what they call his name. Like he dies, but he's gonna live forever. I don't know. I forget. It was kind of like he was getting a divorce and he'd faked his death like 7 times, so he had to settle with 7 people. I mean, that was kind of funny, but to me, the best part of She-Hulk consistently, I love the animation stuff that they do at the end. We've already talked about it. I don't like the 30-minute show. It's 30 minutes. It goes by too fast. In this particular week, I was excited that it was over. I'm like, good, this is done. But I like the comic book feel of it at the end. It's like 5 minutes long. They tease stuff. And if you watch the shows, you can pick out the episodes from the comic animations, right? So that part's cool, but I don't know if I want to keep watching that. I'm much more excited to talk about Cobra Kai next week because I think you're gonna love it. Right?
Yeah.
If you really if you like the end of season 4, that season finale, 5, they do a really good job of bringing that to life. I mean, there is a little bit of filler work.
Yeah, I'll have to binge watch it on Sunday because Saturday we got bookended on football games, so it's gonna be a long football
You guys
day.
have live games now, practices. It's not just practice, it's games.
Yeah, this will be our 3rd game for the one for the older kids and the 2nd game for the younger kids.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
What positions do your kids play?
so my youngest plays left out. But when he does play, he plays. I think he plays receiver, and he plays what we call, it's more like an outside linebacker is what I call it. They run like
So
kind of
on defense,
he
he's
runs outside linebacker. Yeah, my older one, my 11-year-old, he plays running back and inside linebacker.
okay. So they're both playing both directions.
Yeah. I mean, we got enough kids that we don't have to do that, but unfortunately, there's a lot of kids that can't remember their plays and stuff. So,
Or they might be first string on one and second string
Yeah.
on the other. Yeah.
like so, like my oldest, like he's gonna be starting this weekend at linebacker, but he probably won't get in on offense. He's not comfortable there yet. So
Yeah, that's all right.
But-
But your kids, I mean, Hawaii, don't take this the wrong way, but Hawaiians are bigger people, right? So are your kids,
Dude.
your kids are on the smaller side. So I'm surprised that they're on linebacker. Usually you still have a fairly big body.
So they're
The inside, you're talking about inside linebacker. That's usually like one step shy of being a lineman.
Yeah, so there's some dynamics that go into it. So a lot of the bigger kids actually, as they get older, they go to private schools, and the private schools have football teams. So they actually, because they officially recruit people.
Yeah.
So they play at the private schools. But last season, in the spring, we had a kid. He was 11, and he's playing in private school this year. But he was like 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
and
he's already bigger than me.
225 pounds.
Yeah,
So-
he's 11 years old and he's bigger than me. So is your kid playing inside linebacker because he's fast then? Is that the idea?
No, because he's not fast enough to play outside it.
Oh, so he's inside because he's slower.
So last year he played down an age group, and he was actually playing kind of like a tight end position / slot, and then he was playing safety.
Does he have good hands?
Yeah, pretty good. But he was dominating at the age group below.
Yeah, because he was a year older. Yeah.
And then now that he moved up, now he's a year younger, so he's a little bit behind on the size and the athletic ability. Because I didn't.
But
really
he's not
spot-
fast enough for safety or nickel cornerback, something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the
I
speed.
mean, I think he could do okay, but I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put him in one of those training facilities for sports where they're gonna work on the speed and agility stuff with him in the off season to kind of pick that up because he loves
you see
it.
that Eli Manning? This was the funnest thing I watched all week. It was
the
Eli
honor when he walked on. He walked on at Penn State. That was.
Yeah.
Hilarious. What was the guy's name?
Chad Powers has to run,
Chad,
baby.
Chad Powers.
Fast Chad.
Tom Brady
Chad
can play till
fast.
he's 45. Chad Powers can play till he's 26.
Yeah.
And all the
He did it. So, okay, normally I think Eli Manning is actually not that great of an actor. I like Peyton's acting skills much better than Eli's. But he did, in my opinion, the makeup they did was awful. They weren't fooling anybody with that makeup. I mean, they didn't know it was Eli Manning.
Yeah.
But they knew the kid wasn't like 22 years old.
Yeah,
you know
kind
what I mean?
of reminded me of Sunshine from Remember the Titans. He had the long hair and
He
They're
said
like-
it. He said it in the video. He's like, because I was thinking with that stash, that's Matthew McConaughey, right?
I missed that one part of
He
it.
said it.
But
But anyways, that to me, that was great when he's running the 40. Fast Chad. Chad is fast.
They're like 5'3".
5.49. He ran a
5.49.
40 and 5.49.
It's pretty slow actually.
That's like turtle slow, bro.
But then he started throwing, and they're like,
You expect your 300-pound lineman to do a 5.4.
yeah, but he can still throw. And when he was doing going through the whole agility drills, the hip movement and all that stuff, he was crushing that.
You know what got their attention? It wasn't his arm. It was his footwork. You hear him talking about it. His footwork is the reason why he would have made that team.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to sign him because I see something.
I didn't finish watching it, so if he reveals it's him, I missed that because I didn't
He
finish
does.
watching.
Watch it. You'll see how he does it. But he doesn't get found out. The coaches announce it. But
So one of the coaches knew.
you didn't see the whole thing. You got to watch the whole video. So if you watch it on ESPN's channel, they broke it up into 2 parts. There's another one where they show the whole thing, and I think they do have extended clips. That's the one that you got to watch. But what happened was, this is how it really worked. He's going there for a master's. He's going there to check out a master's program because Eli wants to get his master's degree. right? And while he's on it, he was talking about the walk-on experience. And he's like, I never really got that, right? Because he obviously, I think he went to Ole Miss, if I remember right. And he was obviously a scholarship legacy for Archie Manning, his dad. Anyways, so they agree to this. He doesn't just show up and try to spoof the school. The school is aware of what he's doing. Anyways, so
That'd have been better if he was spoofing the school, but there's probably some legality issues there, and
yeah,
ESPN
right.
rights.
Well, and also you don't want to waste an opportunity for a kid who's legitimately trying.
So what we're saying though is, if you have him talk in the third person and be a huge narcissist, he can do a good job at acting.
He pulled it off. He did a good job. I was surprised at how well he stuck to character, because that Chad Powers, Chad is fast, that had me going. But it wasn't just that. He was like, he practiced. I mean, anyways, you got to watch the whole video. If you guys haven't seen it, that was the best thing I saw online or on TV. Now, when I say TV, I mean Netflix or Disney Plus, because that's all I'm watching. But anyways, that was the best thing that I saw all week.
So we should start reviewing like sports video clips or something then.
We could definitely do that, because Joe can't keep up with sports, man. He's not interested in it. He's into Marvel and stuff. I love sports.
What's baseball? What's that?
So Joe knows more about sports than he lets on. What Joe just doesn't care about it. It's not his bag, baby.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Browns won. Everybody in Cleveland's happy. So when
I'm actually, dude, the Browns are going to be in the conversation for playoffs. If people haven't figured that out yet, they're a decent team. Now, I get it. A lot of people are going to hate on Deshaun Watson, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't understand why that guy didn't get suspended for the whole year, if not kicked out of the league. Honestly, 25 different counts. 25 different. Now, that's just accusations. To be fair, in America, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But he pled with them. He negotiated 24 of the 25, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so,
I wouldn't have picked him up. But the Browns
anyways,
picked up Johnny Manziel.
So I think they did Baker Mayfield dirty by getting rid of him. That's another. But if you just look at the team, the way it's composed, they have a playoff caliber team. You know what I mean? Like, they got a darn good receiver. They got my old receiver from the Raiders. Like, it's a good team. Chubb's
and I'm gonna miss the Baker Mayfield commercials too, where he's sitting in the stadium like it's his house.
Well, I think he's doing those now in Carolina, right? So, but hey, they stuck it to. They beat them. They took advantage of the revenge game when Deshaun Watson was officially suspended for even the first 6 games, and then eventually the 11 games, what they settled on with the $5 million settlement. That's what he ended up having to pay. You knew then that revenge factor game for Baker was going to be a little bit less. You thought that Baker would come in and mop them up. That's what I thought anyways.
So right. I will say, so far this season, it's kind of been the backup quarterback situation. Like, guys have stepped up.
You're talking about the Cowboys? Yeah.
I mean, the Browns. I mean, you've got several backup QBs that have stepped up. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, he could be a starter though, and frankly, so could the Cowboys QB. Their backup could be a starter. The Raiders for the last couple of years had the best backup in the league with Marcus Mariota, but now, of course, he's a starter in Atlanta. For anybody who is not paying attention, and our quarterback now, Stidham, not too comfortable if Carr goes out, but Carr's not playing very good this year so far.
How about another QB comeback story? Geno Smith.
Who's Geno Smith playing with?
Seahawks.
The Seahawks. Oh, that's right.
So
who's their other guy? They got another guy that could play too. They've got 2, but they're okay. But either of them could be the starter.
Well, Geno's been a backup for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I remember. I'm not a big draft guy, right? But I remember Geno Smith on the draft, and he was just a punk. He acted like a punk, and then he went.
No, I take that. That's why I wasn't an Eli fan, honestly, because Eli should have been playing in.
Oh, I don't want to go to San Diego because my dad told me not to go there.
Right. I held that against him the whole time. I'm like, you spoiled brat, just like John Elway, right? Now I'm a Raider fan. I hate the Broncos anyways. Let's just be real. But that whole thing with Elway never sat with me either. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
but-
pay attention. I pay attention to the draft. I do, right? Like if you get drafted by a team, I think you should go play with them. Why do you get to? Why everybody else has to go? Like
yeah, but
it's a draft, bro. You don't
It's
get. You're not
also-
supposed
it's
to get the
also a
say
business.
over where you go.
it's also a business now, right?
It is a business.
You know,
And
so
if you're getting
I
drafted high, it's usually by a team that sucks big time.
yeah. So Chargers, which used to be my former team until they sold out and moved to LA. But then you have Phillip Rivers, who's probably one of the top QBs ever, number wise.
Phillip Rivers, I hated.
Never won a damn Super Bowl because the owner, like, you have somebody, you have a coach who loses one regular season game.
Phillip Rivers was
fire
way
him.
too talented
Fire him.
not to have a Super Bowl title. There's no doubt about that. I hate the Chargers. I'm an AFC West guy, so everybody else in the AFC West. I hate Kansas City. I hate San Diego. I still hate Seattle, even though they're not in the AFC West anymore. But I have a long memory, so there you go. But yes, Phillip Rivers doesn't have a Super Bowl, and that's a shame.
It is. But I mean, the Chargers have had some characters at quarterback.
Drew Brees, who kind of got screwed in that whole deal, ended up going to New Orleans and winning.
And he was a ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he won the Super Bowl. Everybody thought Drew Brees was undersized at Purdue. He wasn't going to make it. I mean, that guy turned into be an absolute stud. So
Yeah.
there you go.
You never know. Don't judge a book by your perceived cover.
Look at Kyler Murray. 86 yards on a 2-point conversion, and they couldn't tackle the dude.
Yeah.
Good thing they were playing the Raiders. That's all I could say. It's gonna make me cry. But they said he ran the equivalent of 86 yards for 20 seconds. He kept that play alive.
So that's a frustration. That's a frustration with these kids that we're coaching right now in football. If they spend so much time dancing, you're like, man, if you just went straight, you would have like
north and
a 40-yard
south
run. But you spent like 40 yards going back and forth.
Let's go north and south, baby. Yeah.
You got to go up the field. It's just, but no, it's funny. Like, so when you watch pro football, I mean, it's funny how often like you see them make these guys are like the peak players in this sport. They made the NFL, and they still do the mistakes you're taught from day one. Like you see somebody running down the sideline with a football tucked in the wrong arm, right? It's on the inside arm instead of the outside arm.
Yeah.
You see these guys drop the ball before the goal line because they're getting ready to celebrate.
People forget though how talented they are at that level. They are so talented that you almost can get away with a lot of crap that you couldn't get away with in college because you don't have the talent on the roster to do it. So
yeah, like some of these quarterbacks, the positions they throw out of, like falling down and they're throwing completions.
But everybody likes
balance.
to say Kyler Murray's 5'10", like legitimately he's only 5'8", like really, right? Like I could go stand next to Kyler Murray and I'll be the same size.
Well, I mean, that's like Russell Wilson, right? Like size-wise, no business being in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't even see over the line. They can't even see over the line.
But they both do it extremely well.
They do.
You know what I mean? It is crazy, but it's they have legs and they're used to the launch angles that they throw at. I mean, either one of those guys, if you go up to them, I mean, and just look at their quads, they're huge, right? They got huge legs. So
well, you got Tom Brady, who has made a living off of undersized receivers in his entire career. I mean,
he's changed his whole body physique over 20 years too. Like if you look at his draft photos, go back to the draft. Look at his draft photos from when he was a 6th round draft pick out of Michigan, right? He doesn't look any more impressive with the shirt off. I mean, you wouldn't have guessed football player. I don't think anybody would have, right? But you look at him now, he's changed the definition, like I said, the physical composition of his body.
And supposedly his workouts are entirely with bands. Like he doesn't use free weights and stuff like that. He does the resistant bands. Is how he does.
Yeah. Well, and he is what he eats, right? He is. He's a product of nutrition too. So.
Yeah, it's easy to eat healthy when you have a chef make all your food for you that lives at your house, right?
Hey, it's working for him. I mean, Tom Brady.
So you, Joe, and I all need to get like a professional chef to cook good food for us, and we'd be like peak shape.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that it's hard for us right now is we're on a restricted diet with what the ingredients we can use. My wife is a really good cook, but she can't use half or more of the things that she normally would cook with because Lizzie can't have it. So there you go.
Yeah. So you've attributed Lizzie progress due to the brain neuropath
TMS, the TMS, and the hyperbaric. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyways,
the hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
But you also took her out of the mold environment. So you had
but she had been out of the mold environment lots of times. If people actually want to go back and recount this with me, how many weeks was she in the hospitals? She was in Loma Linda for over 3 weeks. She was at UCLA for a month. She was at Chalk for, I think, over 3 weeks. Then she was at her grandparents' house 2 different times for over 2 weeks each. There was lots of times where she was out of the mold.
okay.
Right. So being out of the mold is not actually,
So we're down
I know the timing is coincidental, but
so you're down to the hyperbaric chamber and the TMS.
The TMS is the biggest thing because look, for the first 10 treatments of TMS, we saw some improvement, but it was very minute. And then with the last 3 treatments, the 10, after the 10, we had done the second QEEG, which is the brain map. So here's my wife helping out, right? It was the first time that she was on the mold detox protocol. So there you go. That is true.
When did she start the hyperbaric chamber?
She started the hyperbaric chamber treatments after the TMS treatment. At least you can jump in here. It was before the 10th treatment of TMS, but I don't know how many treatments she was in the TMS. I think she was in 6 or 7, something like that, treatments. And we got a hyperbaric treatment or chamber thing. We rent it. Now we bought it, or we're buying it. Maybe we haven't paid for it all yet, but because she goes into the hyperbaric treatment at least once a day.
It's been a month today
Of hyperbaric treatments?
that we've had the hyperbaric.
Yeah, but what was that on the schedule? That was like 6 or 7
or
TMS
5.
treatments, right?
It was quickly thereafter.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody thinks, when she got out of the mold, that's what made all the difference. But like you said, she wasn't on the detox protocol before.
Yeah. Well, and she did react when she went on that protocol. She had a herxing reaction when she started that protocol.
Well, when we saw the neurologist gave us the hey, you're never going to know exactly what caused it, right? But he said his best guess is like 30% genetic, 70% environmental. That was the best guess. So kind of a perfect storm. Why didn't our other kids get it? Specifically Lily, who was actually on the show earlier, right? Who's the twin. They're identical twins. So eating the same food, going to the same school, doing basically the same, life. Why did one get it and one didn't? And the difference is probably mostly the genetics with all the allergies.
Well, you'd mentioned something about she had a lot of infections, right? She had the antibiotics, blood-brain barrier, all that kind of stuff that Lily didn't have.
Yeah, she was on antibiotics for probably about 4 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's all from the problems that she had growing up, right? Those are environmental factors that played into this for sure.
Well,
so it's just crazy because there's so many variables.
Yeah, she does have
way more than anybody can really even process as part of this, right? And it all boils down to, I think, the inflammation issues, right? So her brain,
which is what the hyperbaric chamber really helps with, right?
Right. And then now she's also using the TINS. Like I said, remember I was telling you about the problem with the feet. She's using the TINS thing to help with that, to calm those feet down.
Yeah, Lizzie also has the MTHFR gene. So I don't know about Lily. She probably does too. I don't know about the other kids, but
I don't know what that is.
You have a harder time detoxing your body. So that's your methylation cycle and those types of things. And
okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So a lot of people that have that gene tend to have a harder time with mold and Lyme and those types of things because their body can't.
Yeah, because when Alicia was chasing this thing down and she thought it might be Pan's Panda and then Lyme's disease, I mean, that's it all, I guess, is kind of similar.
Yeah, they
Tree.
all overlap. I mean, I think pandas, autoimmune encephalitis, they're all brain inflammation. And I still think she has brain inflammation. It's just not to the degree that they can see it on MRI. They'd have to do a PET scan or something like that they're just not going to do. So.
Yeah, we're done looking for all that anyways. Now we're just working on recovery. So the treatments that she has, the protocol for the mold, the hyperbaric treatment for the inflammation, the TMS, which stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation, is refiring the neurons in her brain. And so those are really the things that she's doing. And then we're all going to do the family is going to do the mold detox collectively. We're all going to do it because we all have been living in this house for a couple of years with the mold and didn't know it. So there you go.
Does that mean your hair's going to grow back?
Well, actually, in full disclosure, I just ordered a brand new razor today that'll be here tomorrow. So next time y'all see me, this part will be gone.
I'm kind of digging the hair, man. I like the hair.
Are you really?
I like the hair.
Okay, if I was as tall as you, I would keep it. But the problem is when you're not as tall as me, I always feel like I'm self-conscious about it. You know what I mean? I always feel like people are staring at my forehead. So it is what it is.
I feel like people are staring at my face now.
They are, because you got that Grizzly Adams going.
Yeah.
And you're a big dude anyways. So now you kind of look like Big Ben Roethlisberger. You could dress up as Roethlisberger for Halloween.
Full disclosure, I do not act like Ben Roethlisberger.
You heard this here first, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Jackson.
Well,
drive a motorcycle and pretend like you're Roethlisberger for Halloween.
So earlier when you were talking about the cold shower, you mentioned the saving water. I was like, great, now the California politician is going to see this and they're going to outlaw hot water in showers just to save water.
There you go. It could happen.
So Cup of Joe is the cause of not having hot water.
First of all, we're in way overtime here, but if you guys haven't seen, by 2035, you cannot buy a motored vehicle that uses gasoline power now in California. We love to lead the way on stuff like that. So there we go. I don't know what we'll do. It's 2022. We got 12 years, but by vehicle manufacture date 2035, which is really 2034, no more gas powered engines, diesel engines, or gas powered engines in California. That'll be interesting.
So when you're out, buy a bunch of cars that have motors and just store them in the desert.
I just actually got done posting an article for one of my clients on one of my clients is how do I say this nicely? It's a junkyard, but a commercial recycle center. There we go. In Phoenix, Arizona.
Reuse, right?
Well, copper is a big part of the EV battery powertrain system. Like copper is a big part of it. So copper right now is really expensive. It's hard to get. So we wrote an article for SEO purposes and published it on their website today. So if you want to check that out, I could share the link. But interesting how the metals are still a part of it. And then what a lot of people, I don't necessarily want to cause an argument here, but a lot of the people will talk about the power that's required to generate the energy to make the batteries, and then the environmental impact that those battery. I think you've all seen them, right? These giant pits that they use to dig some of the special.
Yeah, mining is one of the most hurtful things. I think mining is actually more hurtful in the long run than plastic. Like oil.
Yeah, there's different types of mining, and some of these materials that they need that are only available in certain spots, like these mines, they're really massive. So anyways, there's an environmental impact that necessarily everybody doesn't think about, but there you go. Way to end the show with a controversy, Ira. Good job.
Yay. You hate the environment.
So next week, if you're watching the show still, thank you for hanging in. Next week, we're going to be on Joe Stepke's channel, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. And Ryan and I are going to say, see ya later, or aloha, as Ryan can say, because he lives in the great state of Hawaii. Ryan, have a great week, my friend.
It's been a pleasure. Talk to you later.
Later, guy. See y'all later. Have a great day, everybody.
joethefinanceguy.com.